The story I'm writing from scratch today is Magic House Flip, Season 16, Episode 4, on the Home Food Crime and Ancient Curses Network. Alright, let's see if we can make something of this crazy concept. Okay. The episode opened with the typical montage that included scenes from the previous 15 seasons. Let me do that in words. 15 seasons of the popular home improvement show Magic House Flip. All right. A wizard contractor who dropped out of the series in season 7 ran by in a clip wearing a tool belt and holding a broken magic wand. His purple robes were torn, and a large dragon. Let's do this, Armand. Thanks for dropping in. His purple robes were torn, and a large dragon. Let's say green. No, let's say a large red dragon followed him through the kitchen, ripping away appliances and new cabinets with its bulk. That was a favorite episode of the audience, if not that wizard. This was followed by the sisters high-fiving in a bright, remodeled breakfast nook. Free of dragons, curses, and other whatnot. The next scene in the opening credits showed the sisters fleeing out a front door and over the new railing of a wrap around porch. Sisters fleeing out the front door and over the new railing of a wraparound porch as spiky tentacles stretched out of the door after them. The theme song concluded on a scene of the sisters hugging, a happy couple in front of a quiet and tastefully painted craftsman style home. Okay. This episode opened on Artema's kitchen as her sister Morgana entered and joined her for a cup of coffee at the large Eat-In island. Morgana glanced at the camera briefly, as she tended to do even after all these years. So, what's going on? I'll say the question sounded pretty natural, but regular audience members. Tom Duffy, thanks for dropping in, buddy. I'm sorry I didn't see your post there right away. The question sounded pretty natural, but regular viewers knew these scenes were staged. Artema gave a grunt and said, "It's Jack this time." He's a precious little boy. How could Jack be any kind of problem? Let's say Artema cut a look at her sister before rolling her eyes. "You're one to talk," say, being the fun aunt that always adds to his mischief. "I have no idea what you're talking about." Morgana winked at the camera. "Well, today he wants a dragon." Alright. Oh, congrats on the book release, Armand. What just came out? I should know that if I were a good friend, but I don't remember offhand. Tell us, Armand, what's your book release today? Okay, Dirty Deeds 10. I will definitely be reading that fairly soon. I'm finishing up Stephen King Revisited. I'm on the last book, and then I'm going to dive into Brian Keene Revisited. He has as many books as Stephen King, but they're about 1/4 the size each, so I may be able to finish him up in a year, and then I'm going to be diving into Stephen King, never heard of her. Very nice. Then I'm going to be diving into Armand Rosamalia Revisited, possibly in 2023, if not sooner. Well, today he wants a dragon. Morgana clapped her hands They are very loyal pets if you get one young. We've seen what dragons can do to a house more than once. Alright. Morgana waved her sister off and pushed away her half cup of coffee. Morgana waved her sister off and pushed off her half cup of coffee. Those are fixer-uppers, where the dragons were neglected. Jack will be great with his own dragon. You'll see. No way. Artima shook her head. He doesn't remember to feed the dog, and the dragon would eat the dog if Jack forgets to feed it. You're terrible. It's the truth. So, what are we doing today? We have that. We have that foreclosure over on Piedmont. Alright, let me spell foreclosure correctly. We have that foreclosure over on Piedmont. Let's say Morgana's voice got very robotic as she recited off her lines. Okay. The couple tried to take it on as a standard flip when they discovered a few curses in the basement and a couple hexes behind the walls. They knew they were in trouble. But thought they could still handle it. Now they are in way over their heads in dark magic. And underwater in the house. And the house's value. Let's go with that. Happens every time. Artima shook her head and set down her empty cup. Well, I think we're just the ones to help. The episode cut to them getting into Morgana's. All right, let's start spelling some things right. Morgana's van outside. Jack played with his brothers in the distance. Morgana raised her hand and said, "Be nice and I'll talk your mother into getting you that dragon." The boys cheered loud enough for their voices to carry. The boys cheered loud enough for their voices to carry. Alright. Artema. Am I spelling that the way I have it spelled? Okay. Artema waved a fist at her sister and growled, "I'll feed you to that dragon. I'll feed you to that dragon." The scene cut to them driving as they discussed the specs of the house. This is a nice neighborhood, Morgana said in a close-up. Good resale value or rental options too. Well, if this is it, then this house is the eyesore of the neighborhood. The scene cuts to a wide shot of a house. The scene cuts to a wide shot of the house with paint peeling and boards falling off the front. Zero curb appeal. Morgana noted as she slammed her driver's side door. They walk part way up before the camera follows them from room to gutted room. Most of the demo is done. Artema said, but then pinched her nose. What's that smell, though? I think it's sulfur. could be a demon. They said nothing about demons. All right. They continued through the house with exposed insulation, incomplete. Okay, I need to fix that word there. Exposed insulation, incomplete bathrooms, and a dated kitchen. The final shot of this sequence was looking down the dark basement stairs to the sound of growls. A dark music cue switched. I want to keep this all past tense. This is a weird story. Weird way to write a story, as if it's an episode of a show. All right, a dark music cue switched to light jazz with an establishing shot of cafes and artisan businesses in the small downtown. Thank you for the follow, Birdie. Appreciate it. Good morning to you too. All right. Artisan businesses. And, well, let's spell something right here. I got too many S's. I had enough S's. I just had them in the wrong place. All right. And artisan businesses in a quaint downtown. The sisters are then shown sitting in a cafe having coffee again with a young couple. They share their woes of trying to renovate and flip a house with magic issues. The wife kept saying things about the great lawn and all this wonderful stuff within walking distance. The sisters kept noting the perils of flipping magic houses without the proper experience. After a pause, the husband delivers the key line from every episode. Now, I'd switch to present tense again. This story would probably be better in present tense just with the style of thing it is, but I'm not going to do that. Darn these S's. Alright. Good stuff. Yeah, spelling's the worst part about words, really. Everything else about words is great. After a pause, the husband delivered the key line from every episode. Sisters, we need your help. Morgana goes over budget with them. Alright. Did I misspell delivered? Delivered. Okay. Alright, Morgana goes over budget with them. They always reacted to whatever number was given as if it would be tight, but they remained optimistic. All right. We'll get the engineer. We'll get the engineer and the mediums out to assess the situation. Artima said to end the scene. Alright. Artima said to end the scene. The sisters went through the house with the contractors. They waved their wands to lift up stained carpet to show nice hardwood floors. Why would anyone cover those? Morgana said. The bathroom and kitchen demos, let's say the bathroom and kitchen redesigns seemed straightforward, if not cheap. They were going to have to check if one of the walls was load bearing in order to create, let's say, was load bearing before they could vaporize it in order to create an open concept. The music changed as they entered the basement. The music changed as they entered the basement using their wands to illuminate. Good grief, how did I get a space in there? To illuminate the dark space. The contractor wizard in this episode had a thick southern accent and wore camo robes under his tool belt. His tool belt of wands. I can already tell you that we have water issues here. We'll need to build a new retaining wall and probably line it with hydrophobic wards for good measure. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this story. It's kind of a weird blend. Great taste that tastes weird together, maybe. We'll need to build a new retaining wall and probably line it with hydrophobic wards for good measure. That electrical concerns me. Not sure if it is up to code. And we haven't even looked at the pipes to see how old those are. All of that sounds expensive. All of that sounds expensive, Morgana said. The wizard shrugged in response. Artema sighed and said, I hate spending money where it can't be seen. But we have no choice. That ain't all, the wizard said. A scurrying noise, as if on cue, drew their attention to the ductwork running through and between the joists. Okay. A quick shot shows something. A quick shot shows something that could be a rodent. Rats? Morgana asked. Worse, the wizard said. A little spark of fire briefly revealed a tiny dragon before it slipped through a wide crack in the concrete. Sewer dragons. I'm trying to remember how to spell here. Sewer dragons. Artema whispered. Worse, the wizard said, and shook his head. Hold on, I gotta turn off my heater here. Alright. Worse, the wizard said, and shook his head. It's pocket dragons. are pocket dragons worse than sewer dragons? Morgana asked. The contractor wizard wiped sweat from his forehead before he answered. Pocket dragons grow bigger in time, but they are a protected species, so we can't exterminate them. Like the other kind. We have to catch and release. Not every dragon handler is able to do that. So hiring out will take almost all your budget. We can't do that, Artima said. We could catch them ourselves. There was a close-up, followed by a commercial break. When the show came back, the conversation was repeated. Are you crazy? Artima yelled. We can do this. We've dealt with much bigger monsters than these, and this is just catch and release. As the sisters argued, you like the thing with the pocket dragons, good. I've actually used something similar in other stories. Alright, as the sister argued, the wizard in his camo robes found something else to do on the main floor. As expected, they decided to give it a try. The bulk of the episode involved the antics of the two sisters trying to lure out and cage these tiny dragons. The music was light. The conversation was repeated or continued. I don't know what we're looking at there. The bulk of the episode involved the antics of the two sisters trying to lure out and cage these tiny dragons. The music was light, and the shots presented them as cute instead of sinister. Morgana blasted light underneath a uneven wall, and a dozen little dragons in all different colors scattered everywhere. They both screamed and caught none of them. The scene cut back to Artema's house, where her sons and husband... Okay, let me fix that. Where her sons and husband... Alright, come on now. Keeps trying to grab the whole thing instead of letting me just move one letter. Scene back to Artema's house, where her sons... You wrote after the commercial break, the conversation repeated. I was wondering if continued. No, I meant repeated. A lot of times in those shows, when they go to a commercial break, they come back and you still hear the last few lines as they continued the scene. So I meant repeated. All right, the scene cut back to Artema's house, where the sons and husband helped build elaborate traps using buckets, levers, trapdoors, and a few magic spells. Little Jack asked, "Can we keep one?" "Sure," Morgana said. "No, absolutely not," Artema spoke over her sister. Okay. No, absolutely not. Artema spoke over her sister. Jack pouted, but went... No, I don't need a comma there. Jack pouted, but went back to work without complaint. Morgana whispered, "What color dragon do you want, Jack?" "Say purple," he whispered back. Alright, let me fix one thing there. Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about, and that's great attention to detail. Thank you so much. Purple, he whispered back. No. Artema, not repeated. Artema barked. Okay. The show came back after the break to bucket traps filling up with pocket dragons. There had to be hundreds. Okay. The show left that thread for a while to show the sisters picking out tile and countertops. They were able to take out that wall, but had to put in a new beam. There was a brief scene. All right, there was a brief scene where the couple had to agree to put in more money. It was a little tense, but this sort of thing happened in almost every episode. The renovation finished up quickly. The sisters cleaned up a couple curses they found lurking in the shadows of in the shadowed corners of closets. I'll say expanded closets. The sisters took their buckets of dragons, let's say pocket dragons, to a preserve where scientists marveled over how this one catch might help save the species. Then the audience watched the couple cry as they went through their renovation. Oh, I would look at the time. It's a day job o'clock. See you around. Enjoy the rest of your stream. Thanks so much. I'm glad you dropped by, Birdie, and thank you so much for the follow. It means a lot. All right. Then the audience watched the couple cry as they went through their renovation. As a twist, the couple decided they would move in themselves instead of flipping or renting this one. There were more cheers and hugs as the credits started to flash on and off the screen. The sisters sat in Artema's kitchen talking about how well that went. Jack walked through the frame and Morgana took a wrapped present out of the seat next to her. She glanced at the camera again. Artema reacted as if she had not seen the box come into her house. What is that? It's for Jack. His face brightened and he took the gift. What did you do? Morgana shrugged. Open it, Jack. He did, and a tiny purple pocket dragon popped out. Okay, let me fix something there. Popped out, and he did, and a tiny pocket dragon popped out and into his arms, where it licked his face. Jack cheered. Oh, let me take that comma out. Jack cheered, cried, and hugged his aunt. The other boys ran into the kitchen. And started jumping around. Okay, hold on. I'm going to do this in italics. I'm going to kill you, Artima mouthed. Only the viewers watching with subtitles caught that bit. All right. Morgana ignored it and asked, "What are you going to name him, Jack?" "Sparky," he yelled without hesitation. I hold more Mondo Moolah than J-Coin. That ain't right. Well, you know. Armand is very interesting to watch. I don't hold more Mondo coin than I do J-Coin because I have an infinite amount of J-Coin, but Armand is worth watching. No trouble there. "Sparky," he yelled without hesitation. The boys ran out back to play with their new pet, and the scene switched to a final view of Artima's house, with the camera pulling back. The final credits flashed across the screen as the sisters spoke in voiceover. All right. Fishhead, thank you so much. Sounds right to me, Armand says. Of course it does. And I guess I agreed too, so I can't complain too much. I can't believe you did that. It'll be fine, Morgana. It'll be fine, Morgana said. They get bigger as long as you housebreak them early. You'll be fine. You're always pulling stuff like this, and you love me for it. The sisters laugh as the episode ends. Say the bar across the bottom of the screen. The screen starts to fill up white. I like that fish head floats around. There you go, man. This is the kind of value I provide. You know how long it's going to take me to teach Armand how to make that happen? Come on now. You should watch the video of me teaching him how to use the software. But he learns fast. But that's one of those things that may be a tough add-on for him. The bar across the bottom of the screen starts to fill up white, but then fill up white as it prepares to play the next episode. But a new screen image pops up and asked, no, I see. The sisters laughed as the episode ended. Alright, the bar across the bottom of the screen started to fill up white as it prepared, past tense, to play the next episode, but a new screen image popped up and asked, are you still watching?